Kumba review. Serious Coaster greets you to being here. Today, we are going to be a Kumba review. Like I did with my Iron Gwazi review, I'm going to be reviewing all the elements that are consistent throughout the ride. Then I'll be rating the theming, the design, and the thrills. And like I mentioned in my first review video, everyone's excited about it. Who? Venezuela, Guatemala, Argentina, the Arctic, Greenland, Iceland, and so on. And this being my second review, hopefully I do better than my first time because hashtag practice makes perfect. Roll the intro. Anyway, Kumba. Audio probably didn't get that clap because the audio is the best out there, as I mentioned in my first video. Anyways, Kumba does not mean at home. It does not mean blackberry tree. It means roar. Let's just start reviewing the ride. Kumba footage I showed throughout this video, it will be from Coaster Force. I know I use them a lot, but it's because they have good content, so be sure to check them out if you're coaster person like me. Now, Kumba is a sitting down roller coaster manufactured by B&M. I don't know exactly how to pronounce the real name of it, but here's the real name of it. Try your best to spell it out. I don't feel like doing it today. And so basically, this ride, like I mentioned, is a sitting down coaster, and there's a lot of coasters like this, like throughout everywhere. But like, there's some roller coasters like a B&M Hyper Coaster that's different from a sit down coaster. Like a sit down coaster I can think of, Incredible Hulk coaster, and like here's like I'll tell you the difference because B&M obviously you sit down on a lot of roller coasters, but here's a picture of like a hyper coaster like Mako. And then here's a picture of a floorless coaster like Kraken. And then here's something like Kumba, the cart of Kumba. And if you look at all of them, you can notice there's slight differences. But really what's the big difference is sit-down coasters are similar to floorless coasters. There are a lot of upside downies, there's turnies, etc. And then hyper coasters, they're very tall. And they don't go upside down, but lots of airtime, which is the stuff where you go like, whee! That's about the ride. The length of the ride is 3,978 feet. The height of the ride is 143 feet. The drop, though, it's 135 feet. Like, the difference between, like, top height and the drop is top height is the tallest point of the roller coaster. The drop is just how tall the beginning of the roller coaster is, the drop. The speed is 60 miles per hour. And the time of the ride is 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Elements and inversions. There's a loop, there's a dive loop, there's a 0G roll, a cobra roll, and like I mentioned in my Modoc ride, yes, I was describing the Incredible Hulk coaster and how like this one is it's a cobra roll, which kind of I guess it kind of looks like a cobra, but it does like that. And also interlocking corkscrews, which is basically two corkscrews beside each other that just look pretty. Here's how they look. Lastly, where it's located at is once again Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Now let's take it step by step of each inner property of the ride. Starting off, you kind of exit the station, and once you exit the station, you turn a little bit right, or I guess not a little bit, you turn all the way to the right, and that's whenever you'll go up the lift hill. And this ride, it's high, like compared to other roller coasters, like it's high, like Cobra's Curse, that one's only 80 feet. This one's 143. Not the tallest in the park or in the world, but it's a tall ride. You climb up your lift hill, and what's cool about this drop is it isn't and does whatever, it's a So yeah, you kind of like turn whenever you dive. You turn to the left. Once you turn to the left, like this drop, it's pretty good. It's a drop. It gets your speed picking up. And with this ride, being a sitting down coaster, most of the time they're very intense, and this one is definitely intense. Not the most intense in the park. Like I can think of maybe three that are more intense than this one. But this one, like the drop feels forceful, and like the G force is pretty strong. And then after that, you go into your first inversion, which is your loop-de-loop, which you kind of like. Here's the lift hill. Your loop-de-loop kind of like goes around the loop-de-loop, which is pretty sick. And after that, you kind of then leave the loop, and then you kind of go into what's called a dive loop, which you kind of go up, turn. Notice my fingernail is like kind of like the top of the train, and then you finish the rest of the loop. You exit the dive loop, you then go into your 0G roll. And the 0G roll means like zero gravity roll, but the thing is, like, it's pretty forceful. Not that it's a bad thing that it's forceful, but it doesn't feel like you're in zero gravity, because zero gravity, you're kind of just, whoa. But this one, you're kind of like, get the difference. And once you do that, that's whenever you go into the Cobra roll, like I mentioned earlier. Once you go through that Cobra roll, you kind of go like near a bridge. It's pretty cool. And throughout the ride, really, like you get bridges, you see like water, you see trees, lots of flourishing things. This ride I like because it's very themed, along with the colors. Because even seeing the color of the track or the cart or the support, it's nice with the light red, the teal, and all the green around you. Once you leave your Cobra roll, you then kind of go up to the left, and that's when you'll hit the brake run, which you do lose some speed at that part, but the rest of the ride is still pretty consistent until the very end. But after that brake run, that's whenever you're going to the two interlocked corkscrews. You'll go down, do a corkscrew, and once you leave that corkscrew, you kind of go back around, and then you go into your second corkscrew. And once you go through your second corkscrew, that's whenever you'll kind of head into like a tiny tunnel with a little bit of darkness. Then you'll kind of keep turning to the left, and that's when you'll enter
darkness. Fear spreads throughout your body. You feel like you have nowhere to go. Then suddenly you see a light. You think you're getting closer and closer, but the tunnel seems to get darker and darker. There's no escaping the darkness, ever.
You eventually come out the tunnel, and that's when you'll kind of turn to the right, keep turning to the right, going very slow, then you hit the brake run. Now looking at this ride entirely, what would I rate it off of the three factors that I said at the beginning of this video and that I explained in my Iron Gwazi video? Go look at that video, link in the description. Thank you very much. So this ride, for design, with the cart, I really like the cart. Here's another look at the cart if you didn't see it before. And I like the yellow, I like the stripes and stuff. It's a nice design. The track I love. The track like just adds so much color to throughout the course. Like it just I like the colors a lot. It's one of my favorite color schemes out there. And so design, I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. Not bad, but there's definitely could be more design elements throughout the course and the train. Theming. Now theming, like the theme is Roar, which this roller coaster, as you're going throughout it, it definitely throughout the track. And that's because I'll actually give you the scientific explanation. So
the supports, whenever they don't roar, it's because sand, or they're not hollow, and so that they don't make much vibration noises. With this one, they're hollow, so whenever the track, or the train goes through like a segment of track, it goes roar.
So yeah, that's basically the theming, so that I actually really enjoy. They definitely incorporate the Kumba theme, but also besides that, all of the trees, the palm trees, the grass, just everything. It looks so jungly, and this takes place in the jungle area of the park. So the theming, I'm gonna have to give an 8 out of 10. 8.5. I'm being nicer. Now, thrills. This is definitely a thrill-packed ride because there's a lot of forces. Is there a lot of airtime? Something that is kind of thrilling, which kind of annoys me, is during the corkscrews, you're in the thing and your head kind of, and that can get kind of annoying. It gets you kind of a little headache, but then it kind of goes away. But you definitely want to keep your head back on this ride during that part, especially because the roughness, I don't like that. Like the restraints don't feel good when you're going up against it. So the restraints, they're not my favorite. Thrill, there's a lot of forces, not like Montu forces or Iron Gwazi forces, but definitely a lot of G forces in there, which is forces that make you push lower. So thrills, I'm gonna have to give it once again an 8.5. So in total, what is this ride? This ride, I'm definitely going to give it a final score of an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 feels like a fair score between 7.5 and 8.5. And reason being, there can definitely be a lot more forces. It doesn't have to be so slow paced at the ending. I like the tunnel. For some reason, on that part, I just scream as violently as I can with whoever I'm with. Again, this ride, I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10. That basically wraps up the reviewing of this ride. But again, I want to share some of my personal thoughts with this ride because this ride, honestly, like, has a lot of great memories with it. Like, I remember one of my friends couldn't even get on this ride because he was so full. I got on this ride while I was so full, almost threw up. And like just with other times, like this is a definitely get on right now. For some reason, this ride has no line at all for being such a great ride. And compared to other rides, like for what I see it as, it should be definitely a higher wait time compared to other rides. Like Sheikah, that one's like 30 minutes most of the time. This one's just walk on for whenever I go. And yeah, that basically wraps up my speaking about Kumba.
I tried to pay, he begged me to stay. Hey, I'm not staying, I just wanna play. In the party, you just wanna romp.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all of you for watching this video. Thank you for the support and 10 subscribers. I hope whoever of you unsubscribed, I hope I can catch your attention again. And I don't make you sad. Yes. Anyways, I will see you guys later and catch you in the next video. Peace.